Hello, everybody, and welcome to Coffee with a Customer with H&B. And today I have one of our absolutely amazing printers with us, Bill Duerr from Hatteras. How you doing today, Bill?
Good, Ryan. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us. I know you guys are always busy over there, so I appreciate you taking a few minutes. And I have to ask, because it's the show, what are you drinking today, and what are you drinking it out of?
Yeah, so I got a nice little afternoon cup of coffee here on the East Coast. It's about 2 o'clock, so might be up a little extra late tonight. But I've got a Black Rifle coffee, and I've got my mug from East Fork. It's a great company, so you should check out East Fork. They make really nice custom stuff.
Yeah, I like the little two-tone going on there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, okay, so for those that don't know you, can you tell me a little bit about who you are, what you do at Hatteras, and how you got into the print industry?
Yeah, so my name's Bill Duerr. I'm the president here at Hatteras. This company is 41 years old, as am I. My father started the company 2 months after I was born in 1983 with 4 employees. Current day, we have 270 employees, and I've been here full time for 16 years. So while I swore I would never work here, I've literally been around the company my whole life. I have a background in lacrosse and coaching, and I always thought I would be a college lacrosse coach. So I spent a few years out of school coaching at the college level, started my own lacrosse company called Mad Dog Lacrosse, which my younger brother now runs and has done amazing things with that. And while I'm not on the field, I'm very much a coach in our business. And, in the 15, 16 years that I've been here, I started in sales. I've evolved into the role of president. And I really feel like my role is to connect the needs of the marketplace with what our company is doing operationally. And we had some clients here this morning down from Manhattan. We're about an hour south of there. And it's really, my responsibility to listen intently to what they need, ensure our team has the tools to support them in doing so, and ensure that I have the vision as to where things are going outside of this building in the future, so we can continue to evolve our offering to align with the needs of the marketplace. Because since I've gotten here, people from outside the industry have told me that print is dying, and I would argue that all day long with them. It's just changing, and we're changing with it. And it's my responsibility to, lead that change.
I love that. That is awesome. The print is dying message is such an interesting one. And I always like seeing how people kind of combat that and talk about that and show the proof of, well, no, it's not. Print's everywhere, right?
Right. It's everywhere. Yep.
And you said something really interesting. So you said you never wanted to work there, but what actually convinced you to do it?
Well, I think a combination of things. I think our family is entrepreneurial in spirit. So me, as a younger kid, I saw my dad start his own business and grow it. My mom ran her own business. I always wanted to do my own thing. So that's kind of where it started. I also think, when you're a stubborn teenager or in your young 20s, you don't know any better. And while I did want to do my own thing, I didn't really realize what a great opportunity I had in kind of carrying on my family's legacy and, taking care of my family and my parents and my own family as my parents got older. So I kind of opened my mind a little bit more to, wow, this is a great opportunity, and I can take advantage of it and make the most of it and continue to grow and evolve the company. And I think another big thing was, while I was coaching, I would talk to my dad every night after, our college practices. And we were talking about the same things. While he's doing printing and I'm doing, college athletics, we're talking about people. And we're talking about a team and the parts equal the whole. And how do you get people to buy into your vision and get them to execute, and everybody play a role and see themselves in kind of that greater success. So while we were doing very different things, at the end of the day, like, people make the company, people make the team, they make the things go. So as a leader or as a coach, you're basically responsible for clearly communicating your message, your vision, and then kind of building the systems that are going to get you there. So while it's, athletics and business are different, there's a lot of similarities because there's so many different cogs in the wheel and different aspects to what each different individual brings to the table. And I'm like, there is a lot of correlation between the two. So one, becoming a little less stubborn, two, realizing the opportunity that I had, and then three, realizing, it's very similar. And my passion is in leading and coaching people. So I can apply that now just on a different field. And I always joke, when the team here doesn't listen to me, I can't make them do push-ups or run them until they listen, where at the college level I could, but at the same time, at the college level, I was putting my livelihood in the hands of 18 to 22-year-olds. Now I'm putting my livelihood, in a team of individuals who's got a vested interest because, they've got skin in the game. They're part of the company, and we're all contributing to kind of this growing and evolving ecosystem at Hatteras.
Let's run. Let's do some push-ups. What are we gonna do?
Yeah,
You don't bring that into the office.
right. Exactly.
Very cool. Awesome. So, tell me a little bit about Hatteras.
I would say we're specialized in a few areas. So we really try to focus on, I'd say, 4 to 5 different product segments, and they can be broad buckets within themselves. So marketing collateral is a big driver of our revenue. That could be, in the beauty industry, in the pharmaceutical industry, anybody who's got a sales team that's kind of the feet on the street marketing their product. So a lot of collateral gets driven through here. We also do a lot of direct mail. So whether it's, highly variable, 4-color, digitally printed, or, printing offset and then going through our bindery and inkjetting, direct mail is a big piece of what we do. Also a lot of retail signage and graphics. So things that you're going to see within a store environment or within a wholesale environment, huge part of the business. And then lastly, we basically focus on 2 different areas on the packaging segment. So promotional packaging would be one growing area where we're doing a lot of PR boxes, new product launches, influencer kits. It's been a huge growing part of our business over the last few years, especially kind of during COVID. A lot of brands really adopted the influencer kit where we're delivering products and a unique opening experience. And then the other part of the packaging business is more on the secondary packaging or the folding carton side, where we see a bit more predictability to the ordering cycles and the revenue because we're tied now to the brands and the products we're selling. So as far as the products we produce, it kind of is focused in those few areas. As a company, we offer offset, digital, and large format printing. We offer all those services in-house. Each of those departments could be its own company, but when we combine all three, it really gives our clients a powerful solution. And then we offer all the finishing services to back them up. We have a big in-house kitting department. We do a lot of warehousing, pick and pack, and just kind of ongoing fulfillment. So we're pretty dynamic as an organization. And as far as the markets we serve, it's beauty and cosmetic, pharmaceutical, food and beverage, fashion, home appliance, higher education, kind of broad, but they all need similar things. Just there's a little bit of nuance within each market. And being in New Jersey, an hour south of Manhattan, an hour east of Philadelphia, we're really in a good spot where there's lots of different industry that comes together, allowing us to be dynamic as a company. And for us, we produce 95% of the revenue we generate in-house. So we really want to be dynamic, control the budget, control the turnaround time, keep the brand consistent, and be, a one-stop shop for many of our clients' needs.
I think it might have been easier to say, what don't you guys do? I love that. That's awesome. So with all that, you guys have definitely, you see all these different pieces and parts of the print industry. So what trends are you noticing out there in the print world right now? And how has your business evolved over the past few years to kind of respond to what the trends are doing?
Yeah, I think one of the trends we see, is there's, I'll say, like a bit of a knowledge gap between how we produce and manufacture things and what our client needs or what our client may think it takes to get things done. So we can we're really trying to bridge that gap through making things easier for our clients with offering them more standard product offerings so they can basically order quicker or explain what they need quicker. So a lot of visual tools for our customers to be able to say, yes, that's what we want, be able to point to something and let us know. We're also seeing a huge trend around, data-driven communications. This isn't really anything new, but being able to personalize things, being able to kind of really surprise and delight customers on behalf of the businesses that we work with is a huge trend right now. So whether it's bringing in a new piece of equipment like the Hatteras and Bruno, the ZRX, where we can do, data-driven embellishments and personalize things using coatings and foils, which is a big differentiator in the marketplace, or adding little touches like personalized notes or handwritten notes or dynamic direct mail, like that personalization, that ability that empowers the brands we work with to speak to each of their customers or their target customers on a one-to-one basis. It's not just simple words on a page anymore. It's really enhancing the whole experience from the product being personalized to the box it's going in to the note card that's going inside of being personalized. So really being able to add those nice touches and not on small quantities, but at scale. I think that's really what we want to be able to bring to the table.
So that personalization trend of putting someone's specific name or specific date, what have you, on that sheet, that's what's making the big difference between just a generic thing with, that's blanket statement to this is specifically for Bill.
Exactly. And we want to be able to do that for millions of pieces going out the door or for unique sends of one. So whether, it's a postcard program or an influencer kit program, we have the ability to kind of function at both ends of the spectrum to be able to do it in large scale or small batches. And that's really where we want to be able to bring that value to the marketplace.
That is awesome. That personalization and being able to even like large run that stuff with personalization is something that we've just watched grow and grow. And it is such a cool thing to see like how quickly it can be produced at this point. That's so cool.
Absolutely.
So with that in mind, how do your customers' demands influence the types of services that you're currently offering? What do they value more when it comes to these printed products? And then how do you like see the customer demands kind of changing compared to, I don't know, 5 years ago?
Yeah, well, I think one thing that we've all become accustomed to is this instant gratification, right? We've all got the Amazon shopping experience. Everything we do now is through our phones, it's at our fingertips. So while we're custom manufacturing everything we do, we want to make sure that we're still, operating quickly and the speed to market is acceptable. So I think, you know, we've made an effort here to ramp up to be 3 shifts across the board so we can keep up with that. We've also, tried to do a lot with our social media to educate our clients and the marketplace on kind of what it takes to manufacture products. There's no single piece of equipment out there that's just spitting out the book that you see behind me as a finished book. And I hate to say it, but there is this perception that it's click print and those books are going to be done. There's a process here and there's an art to it. And setting those clear expectations and then managing to them and delivering on our promises is really, our mission. That's what we set out to do every day. But that knowledge gap presents challenges to us, and the need for speed presents challenges to us. While we're very quick, we're very nimble. This is a process. And if you want it done right, it's going to take a little bit of time. So giving our team the tools to be able to say, all right, here's the project we quoted. Here's what the proof is going to look like. Here's what you should expect there. And then once you approve that proof, here's how long it's going to take. And here's the date that we're going to promise it's given to you. And not taking that for granted. While it seems like, yeah, of course you have to do that. Well, let's not take that for granted. Let's make sure that our client understands they ordered 100,000 of something. It's going to be done in 4 days, not tomorrow. And 4 days, could be 7, depending on the complexity of the job. So I think really just over communicating, and we have more account managers here than we have salespeople. And while sales may own the relationship, our account management team, they own the details. They are the extension of our client's team. They are the customer with inside Hatteras. So we really try to give the resources to our clients because at the corporate level, we sense that a lot of our customers are tasked to do more with less resources, less budget, and we've got to find a way to make their life easier. And we want to be the first phone call. We want to get involved early. We can do structural design and prototyping here. We want to be the first phone call. So whatever we're trying to ideate, we are moving that towards something that can be produced and manufactured. And we're not coming up with ideas, or somebody else outside of the building isn't coming up with ideas that by the time they hit us, they don't work for the client's budget and they don't work for the timeline that's been allotted. So we've launched a product development team here where we have structural and graphic design. And that just allows us to get involved early, bring more value, and do things with manufacturing in mind, where we can kind of close, some of those gaps and ensure that everything we're doing is driving toward what the client's looking for long term. So when we get involved earlier, we can bring more value to that process.
That is really cool. One thing I really took away from that is that you have more account managers than you have, sales managers, sales guys, and that these account managers are acting as an extension of a customer. Like how has that impacted your business, and like what has that done to kind of shift that relationship between customers and Hatteras?
Well, I think, the sales is the tip of the spear, right? They get us in the door, and they get us in the door because they've been persistent. They've represented the company well. They've communicated the capabilities. They've gotten me as involved as an owner, and we'll go and, try to close that business together. But typically out of the gates, you're starting with a lot of small opportunities. You're not getting the meat on the bone, so to speak. So we need to prove ourselves in those early stages of the relationship. And we do that by assigning an account manager that's familiar with that market and the kind of ins and outs, because I told you we do a lot of different things. Our team here, while there's many generalists, there's also some team members, especially on the account management side, where, they really understand the ins and outs of the beauty and cosmetic industry, or they really understand the ins and outs of the pharmaceutical industry or the beverage industry or fashion or home appliance. So we try to line up those people because they've got experience and they're walking in to support, a new account where, while it's a new logo, there's a lot of familiarity because we work in that space already. So I think it's really led to establishing trust a lot sooner because, no fault of our salespeople, but I want them out selling. But in order to be effective in managing these jobs that come in, we need team members that are, available, focused on the details, can help traffic information internally to get quotes, schedules, proofs out the door. And really it's the boots on the ground of the account management team that I think ultimately puts a bow on the relationship and really enhances the overall experience. And it's really my vision to always set the standard for service in our industry with our people and our technology. We want to
Yeah.
be able to make the experience very seamless, and we want to be easy to work with. And we're going to always be evolving that.
You just said one of my favorite words, the experience. Because you're not just giving print at this point. At this point, you're creating that relationship to create this experience of, yes, we're going to print for you, but we know these areas and we're going to help educate you on getting this going.
Yeah. And I mean, any printing company that is in business these days, I would say they're probably pretty good at printing. Like, for us to say print is a differentiator for us, I think that's a little naive. While we have very good print capabilities, our quality has to be a given. It's really the way we make people feel and the experience they have in working with us that's going to keep them coming back. And I mean, that goes for any brand. It's not unique to us as a printing company. You work with companies and people that you like that make you feel good. So it's the experience that's going to really establish the longevity of the relationship.
Absolutely. So thinking about establishing that longevity here, what challenges are you seeing for printers today, and how are you guys specifically addressing them to stay competitive in the market?
Yeah. So I think one of our challenges is, and then going back to the fact that we do so many different things, we need to do all those things at a high level. And this is a very capital intensive business. So, keeping the finger on the pulse of the company and keeping all of our offerings current at a high level, and managing that, I think, is a challenge for any printing company, to continually reinvest in the equipment, to make sure you're investing with the right partners who are going to, you know, not oversell you on a piece of equipment, that are going to sell you something that's going to work for you for the long term. Because all these investments are game changers, and they could change the game in a very positive direction, or they could change the game in a very negative direction. So aligning with partners that and trust, and the people behind the company, and they're going to stand by their work. Because I say it to my clients: look, I could have all the certifications in the world, I could give you the best presentation in the world. I'm only as good as my last job, and we've been in business for 41 years because we stand by our work. And while we strive to be perfect, it's custom manufacturing. So when we make a mistake, it's very important we respond accordingly and make it right. And me, as the owner, and being given the responsibility of kind of carrying on what my dad has built here, it's really big responsibility to go out and make some of these investments and ensure that it's the right equipment and then the right people behind the company, because you're taking a lot of risk. So I think all printers are challenged with that. And the more diverse you become as a printing company, the more challenging it gets to keep everything kind of functioning at a high level. So that's one thing. I also think staffing is a big challenge. And while we've done a lot to overcome those challenges, it takes a lot of effort. You have to create an environment and a culture within your company that attracts people. And with us, like, we're big on social media. Like, that social media is not only serving the purpose of helping us attract new clients, but new employees, new suppliers. We want people made up of the same stuff as us, that align with our values. And that's very important, because it's just, again, the parts equal the whole, and there's a whole ecosystem here. So really attracting employees who want to grow, who want to evolve, who want to be part of a company where every day is a little bit different. And they have a little bit of grittiness to kind of weather some of the different adversity that we face, whether it's like a rush job or a piece of equipment going down. Like, you need to be dynamic in the way you operate and the way you communicate, and finding the right people to fit in with the culture and kind of the fast-paced nature is really critical. And we take a lot of pride in that. We've got a lot of longevity, and we got a lot of up-and-comers too. And I think that's a challenge for everybody, because anybody with anybody with some common sense can interview pretty well. It's not really until they get in the company with you and you start working through some things that you find out who they really are. So, making sure you're bringing the right people into the organization, training them appropriately, continuously communicating with them. Those are things that are challenges for every printing company and all the companies.
It's awesome. I mean, it sounds like you guys have really stepped back, looked at those challenges, and are like, well, okay, how are we now going to face this and move forward from it, rather than just being like, well, I mean, I guess it's there. You guys have, like, you're tackling it.
We're trying our best.
I love it. So looking ahead, where do you see the print industry going in the next 5 to 10 years, and what exciting innovations, opportunities, do you see yourself keeping your eye on?
It's hard to tell sometimes, to be perfectly honest with you. But I think over the next few years, we'll see more of like an integration, and it's already happening now, between, your digital and your social advertising spaces and print media. And I think, you're seeing it now. One of our biggest clients is capturing data online, and that's driving print to us every day. But I think you're going to see more with QR codes, personalized QR codes, more with augmented reality, more kind of cross media applications, between the physical and the virtual and the social world. So I think keeping our eye on that, and just continuing to evolve our data-driven capabilities here is going to be critical. I think, the ability to handle the client's product and incorporate our printed pieces, whether it's packaging or marketing collateral, or the promotional side of things, into that is going to be critical for us. And I just think quality, speed are always going to be need to be there, but those are going to continue to evolve. And I think digital printing is going to continue to play, a big role in, disrupting the marketplace and just bringing more cost-effective, high-quality solutions to, companies like us that we can then bring to our customers. And, if you look back 10 years ago, where digital was and where offset was, there was a big gap. And now I think while the two bring different and unique things to the table, from a quality perspective, they're very close. And some of the, arguments that were made 10 years ago can't be made anymore. So I think those advancements are huge. And just seeing kind of what's going on in the digital embellishment space, there's been a couple different suppliers for 10 years, 12 years or so. Now there's a bit more competition, and companies like Hatteras and Bruno are bringing really compelling solutions to the table. So I think that's a big area to focus on, and just continue to watch what happens as that evolves, because it allows you to do some really unique things that, have not been able to be done before. So I think we have an opportunity to educate the marketplace and shape the market and allow our clients to know what's really possible.
That's awesome. Watching and seeing how this technology is evolving and coming closer and closer together, the digital and the offset. And while, we still may be able to look through a loop and see the differences between the two, or the trained eye may be able to see the sheets, that gap for the customer is getting closer and closer of quality standards.
Yep.
That's amazing. Excellent. Well, at this point, my mug is empty. My mind is full. And Bill, thank you. This has been phenomenal. I really appreciate this.
Yeah, Ryan, my pleasure. I appreciate you having me, and
Absolutely.
Look forward to staying in touch. Thanks so much.
Very insightful. Thank you, Bill.
All right.
Have a good one.
You too.